Good morning and welcome to the new party. I'm Nora Christine and I'm the host of Weekend and Weekday Recap, bringing you the stories everyone's talking about and the ones they don't want you to hear. We're breaking down all the latest in politics, culture, and the moments that shape the headlines live at 6 a.m. every Monday and Friday morning. So grab your coffee, wake up your mind, and let's get into it, only here on The New Party. Definitely very, very salacious stuff. We're going to switch gears. We're going to talk about Epstein right now. So guys, if you're watching, please hit that like button. What is actually in the Epstein files, guys? What is actually in it? There's a lot of salacious things, okay, that are in it. But there are things, rumors of things that are supposedly in it that I haven't seen. I've been reading the emails. What I see from a lot of it is it was apparent that they were using code names for children. It was also apparent that they were meeting and transporting people and having these massages and all sorts of things. But there was a lot of financial implications in it, a lot of financial things. Also, the other big thing from the weekend is Pam Bondi's Department of Justice said, we have given you a full list. They released a full list of names associated with Epstein. But we got to be careful with this, guys, because yes, we have this list, but they had names of people that aren't even alive on said list. They had names of people on the list that were literally just mentioned in emails, not even in a positive way. Like, for example, Alex Jones, they didn't like Epstein, and his friends didn't like him, and they made a joke about him, and that's why he was listed. Beyonce and Jay-Z. I will say, I looked at the emails. The only thing I could see about Beyonce per se is they were obsessed with her and they were going to her concerts. Like, they were traveling the country and buying tickets and going to her concerts. Like, that was pretty much, they loved Beyonce. And I don't know if it's because of the connection with Jay-Z or they just were Beyonce fans, you know? I didn't see anything untoward in regards to her. However, something did come out about Jay-Z, which we will cover this morning. Also, Marjorie Taylor Greene is still doing her rounds, talking about the Epstein files, although she's no longer in Congress as she has resigned. Let's watch this clip of her, and see what she had to say. She was on a TV show. Here she goes.
To horrors and evil and the things that Jeffrey Epstein was doing, even to the point, like I read this morning that Dr. Oz invited Epstein to some Valentine's Day party he and his wife were having in 2016. This is Dr. Oz that's currently serving in the Trump administration over Medicare. Exactly. But that was after Epstein had been convicted of pedophilia. So it's like, what? How do these people, and that's the hardest part. These are people that we may love, people that we have cheered for, people that I know I supported. And it's both sides of the aisle. Everybody has got to come to the horrible, nasty truth in our faces that they have all come together, and it was about making money. It was about influence. It was about power, and it is being part of the ruling world elites that have affected all of our lives. And if we as a country cannot swallow that down and hold our government accountable, Jillian, it's beyond. I think it's gone already, but it is past gone. If we cannot do that, seriously, if we can't say this, no, we've had it with every single one of you.
Yes,
get the out of here. Like, what are we? They gave no.
Okay, guys. So pretty much, we're going to talk about some things Epstein file related. We're going to do a brief recap, guys. If you're watching, thank you for supporting. Please hit the like button. The Epstein files have now been released due to a 2025 legislation that was passed. Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act, requiring the Department of Justice to publicly release all unclassified investigative records. They claim that they have released 3 million files and that this is it. There's no more coming out. We have gotten everything at this point. Some people are saying that they don't believe that. Lawmakers such as Attorney General Pam Bondi emphasized that appearing in the files doesn't equate to wrongdoing. Many names appear due to peripheral mentions, medium forwarding, travel logs, or other non-criminal context. And that's what I explained to you guys. What I am interested in the Epstein files, I'm going to be completely honest with you, is two things: the flight logs and the emails. Yes, some of these people that came forward, anyone can come forward and make a report on you. That doesn't make it true. Okay. I hate to say it. That doesn't make it true. However, they came with facts and receipts. I'll consider that too. Okay. Photographs. I want to see photos. I do care about that. Financial and bank records. This is also financial and bank records are number one, because Leon Black, the co-owner of Life Touch, the photos, the ones that all of our kids take, that they have of all of our children, he gave Epstein large sums of money. So one can think he claims it was for business management. Listen, I listened to Epstein talk, and everybody is also attacking Steve Bannon too. Steve Bannon was doing a documentary leading up to Epstein. I don't know. They claim it was supposed to be a positive. I believe from the emails, from what I saw, it was going to be a positive thing. So shame on Steve Bannon for that. But he did give us insight to Jeffrey Epstein's mind. You guys can go back and watch one of our older episodes. We played clips from said documentary where he was explaining financial things. This guy was no financial guru, guys. Okay. So I'm like listening to him talk, and I'm like, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. Like, even I know certain financial things, and I'm like, people are going to him for advice. People are going to him for help. No, boo boo. They were paying him these money to blackmail, to cover up and for silence. That's what I think. This guy had dirt on these people. He was operating this ex-trafficking ring to get dirt on powerful people. One, to blackmail them for financial reasons. Two, to blackmail them to control them in controlling the world and ruling the world. That is essentially why this is important. So while there's ample evidence that Epstein actually abused minors, a detailed review of internal DOJ FBI notes show investigators did not find concrete proof in the available files that Epstein operated a structured ex-trafficking ring serving powerful men. This doesn't rule out abuse, but highlights investigative limits. Hundreds of politically exposed persons and celebrities are mentioned in these files, guys. However, other countries, and I made a clip on this, I made a short, you guys can go watch it. They're not just saying, oh, there's nothing we can do. They are actually investigating this. Norway, France, they are actually investigating this. The only countries that I feel that are just like, well, kind of like looking the other way is the US and the UK. And that's unfortunate because we are the two most powerful countries in the world. This is just really sad, guys. It's really sad. I got a clip of Joe Rogan. He said he was invited and he did not go to the island. Let's see what Joe Rogan had to say, guys. If you're watching, please support the like and hit the live and hit the like button. Also, I'm accepting super chat.
Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem sent the torture video to Epstein. This is in 2009. So Epstein was saying that. Where are you? Are you okay? I love the torture video. I am in China. I'll be in the U.S. second week of May. What the fuck, man? And why is his name redacted? Why would your name be redacted if you're not a victim? Like, this is what's crazy about all this. Like, how come you redact some people and you don't redact other people? Like, what is this? This is not good. None of this is good for this administration. It looks fucking terrible. It looks terrible. It looks terrible for Trump when he was saying that none of this was real. This is all a hoax. This is not a hoax. Like, did you not know? Maybe he didn't know, if you want to be charitable. But this is definitely not a hoax. And if you've got redacted people's names and these people aren't victims, you're not protecting the victim. So what are you doing?
Right.
And how come all this shit is not released? Sultan.
So yeah, Joe Rogan said he was invited. He said he was offered to come to the island. He said he turned it down. He definitely said he's not accepting to go to the island. Last week we saw AG Pam Bondi get grilled. I mean, she was laid out to dry, and her answer was, "Hey, what about the stock market?" She dog whistled to our lawmakers, and she said, "Hey, don't worry about this. Worry about the stock market." And everyone said she was so stupid, blah, blah, blah. No, I think she sent a message like, don't look over here. Let's look over here because y'all are benefiting from this system. You know, y'all are benefiting from these nasty things. These politicians, they do nasty things themselves. They do insider trading. They find out about when, stocks are going to, be sold, and then they can sell early or buy early. This is what they do. So she was reminding them, you guys benefit from this too. Here we go.
Seems that it wasn't only the trafficking of young girls, as the narrative suggests, but there are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates could maybe even be engaging in some sort of consumption. Is that human consumption? Are there code words? There's a lot of talk of beef jerky. There's a restaurant called The Cannibal where the owner is listed in some of these documents. Now, that isn't a restaurant that is just proclaiming to serve human meat by any means. But some of this just, it seems that there's a lot of conspiracies that make you wonder. And I saw more emails about torture, and these coded conversations still have a very clear topic that torture was big. It was a big driver for them. And these were sick people doing very, very sick things. As you mentioned, there are many women who are involved in this. You have folks that were working directly for Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. Right. And a lot of these women are the ones that are sending emails saying, here's one 10 years old, 11 years old, 9 years old. And it's just very disturbing to see the women who are involved.
And that's the other thing about the Epstein files. And this is where I'm critical of it, guys. Let me be clear. Anyone under the age of 13, 14, disgusting, denounce it. I denounce all of it. Let me be clear. But the problem is a lot of these women, okay, and these girls were recruiting other women and girls. So this is an interesting case, okay? This is very interesting in the sense of, are they guilty? Or, what do you call what they did in this? And I think that's the problem with this. It's definitely setting precedents, okay? It's definitely setting precedents of who are victims versus who are complicit in these situations. We saw it with the Diddy trial, okay? We saw it with Cassie. Was Cassie being ex-trafficked as she was procuring male prostitutes for her and Diddy to sleep with? The same with the Jane Doe. So we are actually, it's opening up a lot of interesting conversations. Guys, Jay-Z also came out. Jay-Z is also now being named in the files. Let's be clear. I'm going to play this clip. This is Allie Carter. Allie Carter has been a ex-trafficking survivor. Let's hear what she had to say about Jay-Z.
Yes, there were shrines used for rituals. There's bloody places. There's parts where there's limbs. People cut off limbs and want you to have sex in it. There's blood. There's blood that I don't even know who it belongs to. There's a lot.
So hang on. So someone like the people that you've named are here at these shrines where there is human flesh, bones, human body parts, and they want people to participate in orgies in amongst all of this human blood. Is that a satanic ritual feces? Is this a satanic ritual that they are participating in?
Yes. Yes, there's people who want to, there's people who have sex with animals, dead animals. I was taken and told that I had to give a blowjob to Biden.
So Joe Biden was there at this shrine.
Mm-hmm. Something happened. I don't know what happened. I was down there for a while. There's certain people that you don't talk about because you just don't. There were certain people that I seen down there, from Beyonce, Jay-Z. You don't tell on P. Diddy, but P. Diddy
So you said you don't tell on these people. Is that like a code that all victims adhere to? They don't talk about this stuff?
Yes, you don't, because nobody's gonna believe you. You're nothing to them. You don't count. You're just a toy. You're not essential, as they call them. You're expendable. And as a child in that situation, I wasn't the type of person that was fighting all the time, because I started to learn who I was. I started to learn my pimp. I started to learn what I was in. I started to learn that you don't fight. You watch what you say, you watch what you do. And at some point I stopped fighting people, and I started to.
All right, guys. So I heard enough of this. This is pretty graphic. This was released years ago, before the Diddy trial, before any of this came out. People that, and this is the thing. People on the right had been saying this stuff for years, and people attacked us. People said, you guys are crazy. This isn't true. Come to find out, it's much, much worse than anything we've ever told you guys about. Like, that's the reality. It's much, much worse. Are we crazy? Like, I don't know. We are truly in a spiritual battle, though. This is one Epstein survivor, and she said that she's upset with the release because of, unfortunately, things that have been released. Let's watch.
The recent dump of files, I'm just kind of horrified by. And it's a kind of re-traumatization that in some ways, I mean, because, the worst, the actual experiencing it is over, experiencing the abuse. But the fact that the very people who are meant to lead this country, who are meant to protect the innocent and the vulnerable and stand up for those who can't stand up for themselves, have completely re-traumatized us. It's like being raped by the Department of Justice, because we are exposed, we're vulnerable. I mean, I'll just speak for myself, but when I was contacted by a journalist via my attorneys, Brad Edwards and Brittany Henderson, and they said, because I had said, oh, is there anything about me in the release of the files? And honestly, I had no idea that some of these documents even existed. So when they said yes, and then they sent me the documents, I mean, I had to pull over. I was driving and I was on a retreat with my daughter, and I had to stop, and I looked at these documents and everything went into slow motion, because my addresses, my driver's license with my picture, my signature, my phone numbers, notes from the government that were, I mean, I was compelled to give testimony in the Maxwell trial, and therefore I was also compelled to give an honest amount of information on my life, and notes on everything personal that had ever happened to me, and all those were released. And you can't put that back in. There are other survivors who I know have been exposed in a way that may be far more injurious, because they had previously always been anonymous. And just to be clear, many people have written to me on social media and said, well, if you're already out and talking about being a survivor with your own name, then what's wrong with having your information out there? Well, first of all, it wasn't my choice to be public about this. It was my choice to speak in my own name at the dismissal hearing of Epstein's charges after he died. But it was not my choice to be outed on the internet and on these various different trolls.
So yeah, as you guys can see here, this is an Epstein survivor. She's upset that her information has been leaked. But the other thing that came out this week that was of interest with the Epstein stuff is Ghislaine Maxwell. She was asked to come testify. However, she invoked the Fifth Amendment. But I want you guys to look at her face because this is important. We're going to talk about that. Look at her and remember how she looks and look at this
Ms.
woman here.
Maxwell, did you at any time play any role in Jeffrey Epstein's activities involving the recruitment, grooming, or trafficking of young women or girls?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, have you ever coerced, directed, or otherwise instructed any young woman or girl to provide sexual favors to Mr. Epstein or any other individual?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Are you aware of Donald Trump ever engaging in sexual activity with an individual introduced to him by you or Jeffrey Epstein?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell, did you and Jeffrey Epstein attempt to surround yourselves with influential individuals to curry favor and shield yourselves from potential scrutiny?
I invoke my Fifth Amendment right to silence.
Ms. Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump. Only she can provide a complete account, and some may not like what they hear, but the truth matters. For example, both President Trump and President Clinton are innocent of any wrongdoing. Ms. Maxwell alone can explain why, and the public is entitled to hear that explanation.
Ms. Maxwell,
So I want to share this face with you guys. I want you to watch this. Is it muted? Okay, yeah, I'm gonna mute it. Guys, this is not the same woman. Okay, look at the face. That's Ghislaine Maxwell before. This is allegedly the person that they're saying. The nose, the chin, everything is different. Okay, everything is different about this person. Okay. And this is just not the same person. Well, she's invoking her right to remain silent because she wants to she wants a pardon. She wants to say, hey, I can speak, but you need to give me a pardon. And only President Trump can do this. This is why she doesn't. And number one, if you're not going to pardon her, she's concerned that it's going to fall back on her even further. I mean, but how much longer can she get in prison? She's never getting out. I think they gave her like 25 years to life or something. And the woman is like in her 60s. So yeah, she wants to get pardoned. But guys, does it even really matter? Is this the same person? Who is this? I thought to myself, her nose can change shape. I heard she was beat up at one point. There was a fight. And I heard something happened to her nose. Yes, that could explain the nose. But what about the eyes? Why are her eyes looking so different? What about the chin? Why does her chin look so different? This is not the same person, guys. Okay. We really need to be asking, who is this person? That's not Ghislaine Maxwell, and they just be playing in our faces, guys. They really do just be playing in our faces. And they think we're stupid, but we're not. We're calling it out. This is not the same person. Shout out to everybody that's been keeping their foot on the necks and not letting up. At first I was kind of late to the party. I was like, why does this matter? But when I, read some of the things and I heard what they were doing to children and potentially babies, I'm just disgusted. I'm just gross. It's so much more than just massages and something inappropriate. But yeah, the nose doesn't match from what I see. This guy said, I love that you guys believe any effing conspiracy theory, except for the ones that have actual effing evidence, like Trump being a PDF. I want to see the evidence of Trump being the PDF. I haven't seen any. Anyways, but nevertheless, clearly it's not the same person, guys. We're going to switch gears here. We're going to talk about Savannah Guthrie. So for everyone watching, please hit the like button. Thank you for supporting this morning. As you guys may or may not know, Savannah Guthrie's mom is still missing. Okay. She's still very missing. I think this is another